I mean, it was amazing. It was a gas. The crowd was very welcoming. They were very responsive.
At 62, Johnny Depp finally reveals what no one deemed possible. Johnny Depp kept a secret for 40 years. Not about pirates or scissorhands. About the night he dropped out of school at 15 to sleep in a van with a garage band. About living in Hunter S. Thompson's basement next to gunpowder kegs. About texts so violent they shocked a courtroom. In October 2024, he opened an art show that revealed what no Hollywood insider saw coming. The paintings showed why Disney executives thought he was drunk on set, and why he was right all along about something everyone got wrong. Johnny Depp's journey didn't begin in the spotlight. He was born on June 9, 1963, in Owensboro, Kentucky. His mother, Betty Sue Palmer, worked long shifts as a waitress, while his father, John Christopher Depp, was a civil engineer. Life at home was unstable. By the time Johnny was 7, his family had moved more than 20 times, finally settling in Miramar, Florida. His childhood was filled with chaos. His parents fought constantly, and the emotional tension at home ran deep. When he was 15, they divorced, leaving lasting scars. Depp later called his mother the meanest human being I have ever met. But through all the turmoil, a spark began to grow. In the middle of Florida's heat and disorder, surrounded by rock music and broken routines, Johnny found a strange sense of identity. At 15, he made a decision that most teenagers wouldn't even dare to consider. He dropped out of high school. He didn't leave to act or work a job. He wanted to play music. He joined a garage band called The Kids. They were loud, hungry, and determined. The band started making waves in Florida's underground scene, opening for legends like Iggy Pop. But survival was brutal. The group shared cheap meals and slept in their van. They were barely scraping by, but Depp didn't care. He wasn't chasing comfort. He was chasing sound. What he didn't realize was that this passion for music would soon lead him somewhere completely unexpected. In 1983, when he was just 20, Depp married makeup artist Lori Ann Allison. She was 6 years older and full of hope for him. Together, they moved to Los Angeles, dreaming of making it in music. Depp picked up odd jobs, the most soul-crushing of which was selling ballpoint pens over the phone. Day after day, he would cold call strangers, trying to sell something he didn't care about. He was broke, frustrated, and unsure if the dream was even worth it. But Lori believed in him. She had friends in the entertainment industry, and one of them was about to change Johnny's life forever. That friend was Nicolas Cage. He saw something in Johnny, a charm, a mystery, a presence. Cage urged him to try acting. Depp wasn't convinced, but he went to a meeting with an agent anyway. Then came the audition for A Nightmare on Elm Street. Depp wasn't even there for himself. He had tagged along with a friend. But director Wes Craven's daughter noticed him. She thought he looked dreamy. That was enough. Depp got the role of Glenn Lance, a teenager who meets a bloody end when a bed swallows him whole. The film came out on November 9, 1984, and earned over $25 million on just a $1.8 million budget. That one gruesome scene launched his career and pulled him out of the shadows. Then came 1985. Everything changed again. His band, The Kids, finally collapsed. So did his marriage. Music, the thing he had left school for, was over. He had no plan B, just the strange new world of acting, which was suddenly opening up to him. The choice was brutal: keep chasing the music that had led to nowhere, or dive into the unfamiliar path of film. He chose acting. What looked like failure at the time would soon become the beginning of something massive. 2 years later, in 1987, he became a household name. He landed the role of Officer Tom Hansen in 21 Jump Street, replacing Jeff Yeager. At just 24, Johnny Depp was suddenly on every teenage bedroom wall across America. The show wasn't just popular, it was a cultural phenomenon. It tackled tough subjects like drugs and violence, and it turned Depp into a global teen idol. But Johnny hated it. He felt like he was being packaged and sold. He saw his character as flat and predictable. Fame was suffocating. He started clashing with producers and even tried to get himself fired by wrecking his trailer. The world loved him, but he wanted out, so he rebelled in the most unexpected way. He chose roles that made people scratch their heads. In 1990, he starred in Cry Baby, a wild, satirical film by John Waters. Depp took the role not in spite of the fact that it mocked teen idols, but because of it. Waters said he picked Depp after seeing his face plastered on every teen magazine in a grocery store. Johnny used Cry Baby to destroy the heartthrob image he never wanted. The film flopped at first, making just $8.3 million on a budget of up to $12 million. But over time, it became a cult classic. More importantly, it sent a clear message. Johnny Depp would not play by Hollywood's rules. Later that same year, he made a move that would redefine his career. He teamed up with director Tim Burton for Edward Scissorhands. The role was strange, silent, and deeply emotional. Depp played a lonely artificial man with scissors for hands who just wanted to be loved. It was nothing like his earlier roles. The performance drew praise from critics and audiences alike. The film made 4 times its $20 million budget and confirmed what Johnny had been trying to prove. He was more than a pretty face. He was an artist. From that moment on, he steered clear of anything safe or expected. He turned down big offers in favor of characters who were misunderstood, dark, or downright bizarre. He said he'd never return to TV. Never, he told interviewers. I'd rather pump gas. He wasn't chasing money or fame anymore. He was chasing meaning. And while his career was taking shape, his personal life was just as intense. After his divorce, he fell into a deep relationship with actress Sherilyn Fenn. They met on the set of a student film and were together for over 3 years. Their bond was strong enough for a brief engagement, and she even appeared on 21 Jump Street. Then came Jennifer Grey. Depp proposed to her just 2 weeks after they met. The engagement lasted 9 months before it unraveled. The fame, the pressure, the image he despised, it was all too much. But his next relationship would become legendary. In 1989, at the Great Balls of Fire premiere, he met Winona Ryder. Their connection was instant. Within 5 months, they were engaged. Johnny even tattooed Winona Forever on his arm. The relationship became a symbol of Hollywood romance in the early 90s. It ended in 1993, but not before it became a part of Depp's story, intense, passionate, and full of raw emotion. When Johnny Depp played Edward D. Wood Jr. in Ed Wood back in 1994, he didn't just act, he became the man. Ed Wood had been called the worst director of all time, and his movie Plan 9 from Outer Space was once voted the worst film ever made. But Depp didn't mock him. He treated him with love, showing his wild optimism and odd charm like it was something beautiful. Depp said he based the performance on Ronald Reagan's cheerful energy and the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. That might sound weird, but it worked. The movie was shot in black and white, and it felt like a love letter to every strange, misunderstood artist out there. It also marked the beginning of something bigger, his long, iconic partnership with director Tim Burton. Together, they found magic in the shadows. 5 years later, Depp and Burton teamed up again for Sleepy Hollow. This time, Depp played Ichabod Crane, a nervous, smart investigator trying to solve murders in a haunted town. The studio originally wanted someone like Brad Pitt, but Depp had a very different vision. He wanted Crane to be soft, awkward, even afraid of spiders. He even asked for a long fake nose, inspired by old-school characters like Sherlock Holmes and even Angela Lansbury. The studio said no to the extreme stuff, but the result was still unique. Crane was no hero. He fainted, freaked out, but used science and logic to solve crimes. The dark fog, creepy forests, and Danny Elfman's music made the whole film feel like a spooky dream, and people loved it. The movie made over $207 million and even won an Oscar for art direction. In 2005, Depp took on one of his most talked-about roles, Willy Wonka in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But this wasn't the fun, colorful Wonka people remembered. Depp's version was pale, stiff, and emotionally distant. He said he was inspired by children's TV hosts and even based the haircut on Vogue's Anna Wintour. Some people thought he looked and acted like Michael Jackson, but Depp denied that. His Wonka didn't even like children. The film added a new twist, Wonka's troubled past with his strict dentist father. It was darker, deeper, and definitely more controversial. Critics were divided. Some thought it was brilliant. Others said it was just creepy. But no matter what people thought, The film made nearly $476 million worldwide, and Depp got a Golden Globe nomination. Love it or hate it, nobody forgot his version of Wonka. That same year, Depp took on another challenge. He voiced Victor Van Dort in Corpse Bride, a stop-motion animated film directed by Burton. Depp was filming Charlie and the Chocolate Factory during the day and recording for Corpse Bride at night. It was a quiet, emotional role. Just with his voice, he had to show Victor's fear, kindness, and growth. The story, inspired by an old folktale, followed Victor from the land of the living to the land of the dead. It was sad and funny at the same time. The animation was also groundbreaking. It used digital cameras instead of film, which made it sharper and faster to shoot. Corpse Bride became another hit for Depp and Burton, even earning an Oscar nomination. And it showed that Depp didn't need to be seen to move people. In 2010, Depp came back as the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland. By then, he and Burton had worked together so much that their connection felt effortless. Depp's Hatter was emotional, loyal, and a little mad, sometimes happy, sometimes heartbreaking. The mix of CGI, costumes, and live action made the movie feel like a dream. And it worked. The film earned over $1 billion, making it Burton's biggest success. In 2012, they reunited again for Dark Shadows, with Depp playing a 200-year-old vampire named Barnabas. It was weird, stylish, and full of strange humor. Critics didn't all love it, but it showed how far their creative journey had come, from small, quirky stories to big, wild spectacles. But one of the most intense roles Depp ever took on was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 1998. To play the wild journalist Hunter S. Thompson, Depp didn't just study him, he lived with him. They met in 1994, and it was chaos from the start. Thompson shot a taser in a bar and invited Depp to his house, where they shot guns and blew things up. Depp later moved into Thompson's basement for 4 months. It was small, full of spiders, and next to a keg of gunpowder. Depp wore Thompson's clothes, drove his car, and even had his head shaved by Thompson to match his bald spots. He recorded hours of their conversations and followed him everywhere. When the film came out, it didn't even feel like Depp was acting. He was Thompson. Their friendship was so deep that after Thompson died, Depp fulfilled his final wish, shooting his ashes out of a 153-foot cannon to the sound of Bob Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man. It was more than a movie. It was a bond, full of love, madness, and total devotion. But Depp's range didn't stop at strange, broken heroes. In Donnie Brasco, 1997, he played an undercover FBI agent who infiltrates the mafia. The story was real. Joseph Pistone spent 6 years pretending to be a mobster. Depp trained with Pistone to understand how dangerous that life was. A single mistake could get him or his friends killed. Depp learned how to act like a gangster, how to speak, move, and think like one. He also had to show the emotional cost. His character starts to lose himself, caught between loyalty to the FBI and the bond with a mobster played by Al Pacino. The tension, the lies, the guilt, it all came through in Depp's performance. It was subtle, haunting, and deeply human. In Blow, 2001, Depp took on the role of George Jung, a man who helped flood America with cocaine in the 1980s. Jung worked with Pablo Escobar and became a millionaire, but lost everything. Depp met with Jung in prison, studying him closely. He wanted to understand not just how Jung lived, but how he thought. He even improvised some lines to sound more like the real man. One of the saddest scenes in the movie shows Jung recording a tape for his father. Depp used Jung's real words. It wasn't just acting, it was a tribute. Jung's story was wild, glamorous, and tragic. Depp showed it all, from the highs of wealth to the lows of losing his family. They became close friends, and Depp later said he loved Jung from the moment they met. Johnny Depp was already known for playing strange, offbeat characters. But in 2003, he did something no one expected. He signed on to star in a Disney pirate movie. What he brought to the screen, though, wasn't just a pirate, it was pure chaos. He showed up at the first table read, slurring his words, stumbling, and moving like a rock star who hadn't slept in days. Everyone thought he was joking. Disney executives were so confused, they actually asked if he was drunk. One of them even thought he was ruining the entire film. But Depp wasn't joking. He had modeled his entire performance on Keith Richards, the wild guitarist from the Rolling Stones. To him, 18th century pirates were the rock stars of their time. And Richards? He was the perfect modern version. Rebellious, unpredictable, and somehow still standing. Depp even added a bit of the cartoon skunk Pepe Le Pew to the mix, giving Jack Sparrow a weird kind of charm and optimism. He refused to tone it down. Disney could either accept his version or replace him. They didn't replace him. Critics didn't just like it. They were amazed. Roger Ebert called it original in its every atom. Another critic said it was a masterclass in comedy acting. For Depp, this risky move paid off. He got his first Academy Award nomination, a Golden Globe nod, and even won a Screen Actors Guild Award. And suddenly, the weird guy from indie films became the face of a global phenomenon. Then came 2006. Dead Man's Chest hit theaters and shattered everything in its path. In just its first weekend in North America, it made $135.6 million. No film had done that before. It made over $100 million in 2 days, passed $200 million in just 8, and crossed the $400 million mark in 45 days. Globally, it brought in over $1 billion. Nobody thought a pirate movie could do this, but Jack Sparrow had become the reason people showed up. 1 year later, the third film, At World's End, came out. It opened in more theaters than any film before, over 4,300 across North America, with about 11,500 screens total. In just 4 days, it made nearly $139.8 million. By day 5, it had brought in $153 million. Even with Spider-Man 3 and Shrek the Third out at the same time, Depp's Pirate ruled the box office. By the time it left theaters, it had made $963.4 million worldwide. It held the Memorial Day weekend record until 2022. Even when the later sequels started to slow down, people still came for Jack. In 2011, On Stranger Tides opened with $90.1 million in the US, but internationally, it was huge. It made $256.3 million overseas in just one weekend. That was the biggest international opening at the time. It hit $1 billion worldwide and became the fastest Disney movie to ever do it. In 2017, Dead Men Tell No Tales made $62 million at home and $794 million globally. Not as massive as before, but still a clear sign. Jack Sparrow was bigger than the films themselves. Then, everything started to fall apart. By 2010, the man behind The Pirate began drifting off course. His agent, Tracy Jacobs, said it was like watching two different people. The once professional Depp became known for being late. Very late. Crews would wait for hours on set. Sometimes, entire filming days were wasted. On Dead Men Tell No Tales, the production team in Australia actually placed a crew member outside Depp's house just to see if he was awake. When he finally stirred, the message went out. The eagle has landed. It wasn't just laziness. His drinking and drug use had grown worse. He'd show up late, disoriented, or not at all. Entire film shoots became tense and unpredictable. Producers argued behind the scenes about who should confront him. Even Disney had to come up with quiet systems just to manage the chaos. His personal habits were becoming a professional nightmare. Then there was his love story with Amber Heard. They met on a movie set in 2009. Johnny Depp was already a Hollywood legend. Amber Heard was young, ambitious, and gaining momentum. They were filming The Rum Diary, where Depp played Paul Kemp and Heard was cast as Chanot. Their chemistry was immediate. Heard once said, working with Depp felt like torture, but in a way that thrilled her. Both were in relationships at the time, Depp with Vanessa Paradis, Heard with Tajia Van Ree. But by 2012, those relationships were over. Depp and Heard became an item. At first, the world saw them as a glamorous new couple. But underneath the headlines and red carpets, things were far from perfect. Their love story would soon become one of the most bitter and scandalous sagas in celebrity history. They got married on February 3, 2015, a quiet ceremony at their Los Angeles mansion, followed by a lavish party on Depp's private island in the Bahamas, but it didn't last. Just 15 months later, in May 2016, Heard filed for divorce and requested a restraining order. She accused Depp of repeated abuse, verbal, physical, emotional. Court documents pointed to at least 3 incidents, including one where she claimed he smashed things in their home and struck her. A judge ordered Depp to stay away. Photos of Heard's face, bruised and swollen, were all over the media. Depp denied it all. His lawyers claimed she was lying for money. The breakup became public warfare, the kind where no one walks away clean. Then came the op-ed. In December 2018, Heard wrote a piece for The Washington Post. She didn't name Depp, but everyone knew who she meant. She called herself a survivor of domestic abuse. Depp lost work immediately, especially his role as Captain Jack Sparrow. In March 2019, he sued her for $50 million, saying her words were lies that destroyed his reputation. Heard fired back. She said she'd lost jobs too, and became a target of hate. The court case exploded. Photos, texts, witnesses. It all came out. Each side accused the other of abuse. The world watched, trying to figure out who was telling the truth. For many, it wasn't clear at all. One of the darkest moments came in Australia. It was March 2015. Depp was filming Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. They were staying in a rented house when a fight broke out. Depp's fingertip got sliced off. He said Heard threw a vodka bottle at him. The bottle shattered and cut his right middle finger. Blood was everywhere. His doctor said the fingertip was later found on the kitchen floor. Depp had surgery. Production shut down. Heard's team claimed Depp had hurt himself. There were photos. Gruesome. Shocking. That injury became a symbol of the chaos between them. No one could look away. Their divorce was finalized in January 2017. Depp agreed to pay Heard $7 million. She said she'd donate it all to charity. Later, it turned out only part of the money had been paid, and not all of it came from her. Some of it came from Elon Musk. Despite signing a non-disclosure agreement, the story didn't end. Depp insisted she lied. Heard maintained she told the truth. They issued a joint statement calling their relationship passionate and volatile, but built on love. It didn't convince anyone. Their reputations were in pieces, and the legal battles kept going. Then came new testimony. Staff at the Eastern Columbia building, where Depp and Heard lived, claimed Musk was visiting late at night. A concierge said Heard often called down around 11 p.m. to let Musk in. He was seen leaving the next morning. This was during her marriage to Depp. Surveillance footage showed them in the elevator, close and intimate. Heard and Musk had said their relationship started after the divorce, but the building staff said otherwise. It looked like betrayal, and it played straight into Depp's hands during the trial. Depp's private texts were read in court. They revealed the rage he felt. He called Musk mollusk and sent violent messages to his agent. He wrote about slicing Musk and wished for Heard's karma to catch up with her. The words were graphic, ugly. He admitted he wasn't proud of them. But they painted a picture of a man pushed to his edge, a man watching his life unravel in front of the entire world. Then, Heard's agent revealed something else. After she broke up with Musk in 2017, she texted the agent saying she had never loved him. She was just filling space. She said she needed time to heal from Depp, that Musk was a distraction. These messages tore apart the idea that it was a real relationship. It looked like a rebound, and people started questioning everything: her motives, her decisions, her truth. Then came the money trail. Heard had said she would give her entire divorce settlement to charity, but documents showed Elon Musk donated $500,000 to the ACLU in her name. Another chunk came from Depp. Only $1.3 million of the promised $3.5 million was ever delivered. Musk had even emailed the ACLU, confirming he was helping her fulfill the pledge. It happened while the court case was raging. It looked strategic, like she was trying to keep her image clean. But the truth chipped away at that carefully built story. Finally, in 2023, Walter Isaacson's biography of Musk revealed just how toxic that relationship really was. Musk called it the most painful relationship of his life. His brother Kimball said Heard was a nightmare. His family hated her. Isaacson described it as a dark vortex. Musk said it left him with lasting emotional scars. Yet there were moments of passion too. Heard once spent 2 months making a custom costume to dress as Mercy from Overwatch, Musk's favorite game character. It was twisted love. Musk later admitted, "I am often a fool, but especially for love." Heard said she still loved him. She added, "Elon loves fire, and sometimes it burns him." Johnny Depp was one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood history. After the massive success of Pirates of the Caribbean in 2003, he became a global superstar. He was getting $20 million up front for each film, plus back-end bonuses, $40 million per Pirates film, and even $55 million from Alice in Wonderland, which made over $1 billion worldwide. With numbers like that, you'd think he was set for life. But in October 2017, he shocked the world with a lawsuit. He claimed that his business managers had mismanaged $650 million over nearly 20 years. He sued a firm called the Management Group. Depp said they didn't pay his taxes, took out loans without telling him, and spent his money carelessly, like overpaying for security. They had taken $28 million in fees, around 5% of his earnings, for 16 years, without a written contract. He said they hid how bad things really were, and by the time he found out, he was in deep financial trouble. The case dragged on for months. Finally, in July 2018, it was settled, just weeks before it would have gone to trial. A trial that could have exposed everything to the public. But the drama didn't end there. In April 2018, two of his longtime bodyguards sued him. Their names were Eugene Areola and Miguel Sanchez. They claimed they weren't paid properly after joining his private security team in 2016. They weren't given overtime, meal breaks, or rest periods, basic things required by law. But it wasn't just about the money. They described a chaotic work environment. They said they had to babysit Depp, shield him from the public, and even drive him around while he was allegedly under the influence. They were exposed to dangerous situations, including being around illegal substances in vehicles. They claimed they were more than guards. They were caretakers, chauffeurs, and damage control. Then came another major blow. In July 2018, a location manager named Greg "Rocky" Brooks filed a lawsuit over something that happened the year before. It happened on the set of City of Lies, a movie Depp was working on. One night, filming was supposed to stop at 10 p.m., but Depp wanted to keep going. Brooks managed to get a short extension, but by 11 p.m., the police told them they had to wrap it up. When Brooks passed that message along, someone told him to deliver it directly to Depp. That's when things exploded. Brooks said Depp smelled like alcohol. He started yelling, "Who the fuck are you? You have no right to tell me what to do." Then, according to the lawsuit, Depp punched him twice in the ribs and shouted, "I'll give you $100,000 to punch me in the face right now." The film's release was delayed. The lawsuit made headlines. Depp's image, already damaged, took another hit. Brooks claimed Depp had to be physically held back by his bodyguards. The whole crew saw it. The incident embarrassed the production, delayed the film, and added to Depp's growing list of problems. The court case kept dragging on. By 2022, it was still unresolved. But Depp had just won his high-profile defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard, and the timing of another public trial could have ruined everything he was trying to rebuild. So, just days before the City of Lies case was set to go to trial, it was quietly settled. No public courtroom showdown, no new headlines, just silence. The details of the deal were never revealed. But Depp wasn't done surprising people. In October 2024, he returned, not in a movie, but in the art world. He launched a solo exhibition called A Bunch of Stuff in Manhattan's Chelsea neighborhood, one of the world's most respected art scenes. It featured over 70 original pieces, some he'd painted decades earlier. The artworks were raw, personal, surreal. Some showed deep emotion. Some were colorful dreamscapes. But together, they told a story of a man who'd lived through chaos and poured it onto canvas. Over 10,000 people came in the first week. Many had dismissed Depp's art as just another celebrity hobby. But critics were stunned. They saw real talent. They saw depth, pain, and precision. On opening night, stars from both film and art circles showed up. It was clear, Depp wasn't just trying to make a comeback. He was trying to rebuild not just his image, but his identity. Not as a fallen star, but as an artist, finally in control of the story he wanted to tell.